Hello, everybody out there. I am here with Shari Lynn today. She is the owner of Palladian Cosmic Healing Discs. She is a ordained minister. She's been the last 30 years in the esoteric community, and I actually met her at Victory of Light last time when I was checking out the discs at her table. So she will be at this next Victory of Light, also with a table there, and doing another talk there. So if you love this interview, like I know you are, and you want to see her at Victory of Light, go and see her at her table, and then go and see her at 5 p.m. on Saturday. She's going to be doing a talk on accessing fifth dimensional consciousness. And I will probably be there at the talk, so you can come and see me too and say hey. So Shari, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk about the discs. And yeah, I've been intrigued by energy, since the beginning of this lifetime and beyond. I know it goes way beyond, and working with all these tools and all these crystals. So I'm really excited to be able to create these tools that I feel can assist people in moving and directing energy and working on clearing their field. It's like we all have the power to do this within ourselves, and innately at this time on the planet, there's so much information coming in and activating our, innate wisdom that, it's exciting to be able to have tools, especially something that is as simple yet profound as a Pleiadian cosmic healing disc. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting, and there's a kitty cat in the picture. Is that it?
Aw.
So cute.
That's Goober. That's my Goober, yeah.
Okay, so this is a complete side note here. Like 2 weeks ago, we had like this mysterious cat show up at my apartment, right? And this cat just shows up and follows my fiance and her son into my apartment. And that cat has stayed now, like walked in, just like he knew us forever, or she knew us forever, because it's a little girl. And she came in, just like is so lovey, like comes up and is always cuddling, sleeps with me at night, like curled around my head. This cat has only been here like 2.5 weeks now. And just like came in like.
It's great to have an addition come into your family.
Yeah.
And cats are really powerful. They clear energy.
Well, and we were.
Bad spirits don't like them.
Yeah, we were asking for that. It was interesting. Caitlin was in California just a month ago, and while she was there, she found this cat, and this cat just loved her to death. And she was like, "Oh my God, I want a cat like this!" And literally 2 weeks after that, a cat almost identical to that cat appears at our house. Just incredible.
Yeah, well, we are powerful manifestors, and you put that out into the universe. And boy, after this last eclipse, I mean, anything that we're asking for seems to be manifesting at a very, very accelerated rate. And it's just, I mean, we've been in a time acceleration for quite some time, so we're really in the flow now. Yes. And all the gates are open at this point. So, the sky's the limit. So we're in this, we are without a doubt in the ascension process. And it's really beautiful. It's a very beautiful time to be alone, alive, not alone. It means my brain's not firing very well. I've been in a hospital quite a bit lately with my mother. So I just wanted to, and she's doing fabulous. And but my brain's not firing real good. So.
Yeah, it is always a challenge. We have, it's interesting within the spiritual community, because we have all these things, but we have all this incredible stuff going on, but then there's also real life, right? Things happen, things are happening in our lives that make it challenging sometimes, and it's great that we have the resources to help us move from that point in our lives to higher than that, because there are so many people that don't find those resources, and it's a shame to see that when there's so much out there that could help them get to a place where they can find healing and peace in their own lives. So with that being said, my experience with the disc, I need to get another one, but I had it with me at work, and one of the kids had grabbed it and I guess dropped it on the broke. And but it was interesting. I stopped at the table and I was looking, and I'm looking at all these different things, and I really honestly wasn't sure how I felt about it. And then we had a conversation. We had a conversation about the podcast, and you were like, you know what, you need to take one of these with you. And you gave me one of them, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm into checking it out. Let's see what happens. And I know one day my fiance was here in the kitchen with me, and she was having some problems with her side, and she was having a lot of pain, and she was getting ready to take some ibuprofen. And I said, you know what? I said, I got this. I was holding it in my hand at the time. And I said, you know what? Just put this on there. Let's see what happens. And literally within 30 minutes, the pain was gone.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Yeah, there's something to this. We need to, and I had noticed before then, I have some pretty significant, I have rheumatoid arthritis. So my hands are a problem a lot of times. So one of the things that I would do is, you know, holding it, I would notice that my hands didn't hurt like they normally do, which was really neat, which is why I was like, here, you got to try this. And it was incredible. It worked. And, you know, from then on, I was like, okay, there's something to this. I need to look into it more.
Yeah, they're really incredible tools that I've had the pleasure of working with for over 17 years. I sold discs in my store, the Silver Branch, that was in the Ashtabula Harbor for 10 years. And Greg Plesko made those discs. And I actually had went to Colorado and visited with him and met him. And, you know, all we did was talk discs. And just a fascinating man. And it's a technology that was originally channeled by a woman that lived in Sedona. Her name was Hallie Deering, and she was just, you know, called to present these tools to people. And each one of the discs that she had done, Greg Plesko had ended up, you know, perfecting her images and things like that. So each disc has a different intention, but the basis of them, this is the Sophia disc here, is really beautiful. So they're glass, and they either have photographic images or this. I was the first person to create a gel included disc, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. But they're glass tools that are surrounded in copper, and then in each one of my discs I embed a little tiny Jeffrey Quarry solution quartz within the copper. So it's just, I call it a crystal key, and it amps up the energy. The Jeffrey Quarry solution quartz are known for amplifying long distance healing energy. So they're just loves of mine. I've loved them, and they're really teeny tiny crystal clear double tourmalated quartz, and I show people what they look like, what's in the disc. So yes, this particular disc I'm very proud of. It's you know, when I had closed my store, I thought, well, what am I going to do? You know, I don't want to work for anybody. So I said, I'm going to create discs. And one of the things that I had wanted to do was create a gel included chakra set. And nobody had ever done that I knew about. So I went to work to do that. And then with working with the gels in the disc, this particular lighting gel that's in this piece, the gels filter out all color except that particular color that's coming through the disc. So they're tools that work with light. And you know, these little tiny flashlights, you know, are really great tools. I'll try to, it's like really hard. I tried looking in the camera earlier and it's hard to see, but see, when I have the light shining through the disc, it's shining onto my hand. So the filter takes out all frequency of light except this particular color pink, which is a high heart activator. And then in the Sophia discs, I also had added this rainbow material, and I really wish people could see it, but it's kind of hard to see. There's a rainbow refraction that comes through these discs, and then you shine them, you know, onto the body like this. See, like use them within the field. All discs are going to open the vortexes of light in your hands. I mean, we have these powerful vortices of light within the palms of our hands, you know. So this is a very good tool for Reiki practitioners. So this particular disc activates the high heart, lifts depression, and boosts the immune system. And it brings joy and bliss into your life. It's really, I mean, you cannot be unhappy with any disc in your hand, but this one particularly is for joy, activating the high heart, lifting depression. And the fact that it can boost the immune system and as well, you know, is for my mother because she has a very rare autoimmune disease. So, you know, just flew with that, and the results have been amazing with people who are using this particular disc, not just for autoimmune, but Reiki practitioners love it because this brings in, with that rainbow refraction, it brings in the frequency of the entire light spectrum. And as we know, all healing is light and frequency. So it's very exciting. So yeah, with the Sophia disc, I make the pink one, which activates the high heart. And this is where we get into, you know, when I'm working with people at the shows, I mean, this is when you start to feel them. I'll take a light and I'll shine the Sophia disc on them. And we always do it in the throat, you know, high heart area, and they'll feel it. And I'll watch the energy. I can feel the energy move within their field. Okay. And then we'll use the blue one. And the blue Sophia, this is an aquamarine Sophia disc. This one relieves stress and anxiety. And when energetically, especially those who are, you know, sensitive to energy, and I find that people even that aren't will feel these discs. So this one, it brings up, it's kind of a lighter, it's more, of course, throat chakra, really good for thyroid issues. You know, a lot of us have that due to the radiation on the planet. So this one just kind of brings it up and moves it around the field. And so they'll feel the Sophia discs and how the energy shifts within them. And we can do this with several different discs. They all have their own personalities, I like to say. So from where that went with the rainbow refraction, I then created the Rainbow Tribe discs. And these are abundance discs. They've got the 18 karat gold within them. With just the rainbow refraction, it's like these light up like a Christmas tree. They're so gorgeous. And so then we'll use the two Sophias, and then I'll put this disc on them. And it's like, if you could see it, like on my head, I was hoping you could see it. So they just, just activate the light body like nobody's business. So this is a very alchemical tool because it's gold and the rainbows, and just powerful. It's unbelievable. And people can have their own experiences with them. It's not just the intention that I set out with these discs. They're your personal talisman, so you can use these discs and to move and direct energy to for your own intention as well. Like they help people sleep. You just never know what's going to happen with them. And there's been some crazy, you know, esoteric kind of things, you know, happening with them, you know, auspicious type things going on with them as well. So it's very cool and very fun. And I'm just blessed and grateful to be able to create something that somebody could just hold in their hand and clear negative thought forms. So they're very protective of your field, especially right now if we've got, you know, we talk about the archonic energies on the planet or whatever you have, however you want to describe it, but they're running amok. So it's nice to have a disc because they're very, very, very protective of your field itself. So that's my rainbow refraction discs that just really excited about them. Brand new. So.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I'm excited to be there and to see the table. I know when I was there last time, it's just, there are just so many different ones that you have. And, and it's just, you know, just looking at that, and, you know, it makes it difficult to make a decision, like which one resonates with me. You know, there were a couple that I saw. There's one that you have that has, what? I can't think of his name now.
Oh my goodness. Is this him? The Nikola Tesla disc.
One, yeah. No,
yes.
You had one with Yogananda on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's interesting. My fiance grew up in SRF, so you know she grew up learning all the teachings and stuff from Yogananda. And I saw that disc with all the different spiritual people on it, which was really cool. That was one of the first ones I was looking at. I was like, wow, that's really neat. And of course, you know, we're talking about figuring out a way to do some stuff with, because Caitlin does thermography, and how we can, you know, take people's rainbow selves and be able to add that to a disc. I think would just be incredible, almost like a fingerprint on that would just be incredible.
Sure.
to give people that direction in their own lives, and to take that, to be able to use that for themselves, I think is really a cool idea.
Certainly. And it's powerful stuff too. And like, I do make quite a few different discs because I can, is basically why. And I find it fun. And you just never know what's going to call to somebody. And I just kind of run with it. I sit there and I meditate before I make the discs, and the room is very clear of, any other energies. It's like full of selenite, and my workspace is very important. And we don't go in there unless we're in the space to, create tools that, they don't belong to me. They belong to everyone else. They need to go home. That's the intention, for them to go home. And, yeah, they're so personal, so you just never know. And I'm kind of excited about this disc. It's hard to see, I know, but it's a clear view disc of, and it's got what I call the Master Alchemy symbol in it. And I just recently found out how powerful of a symbol this is for protection. And I was talking to a woman who's just, she's such a wealth of knowledge. It was blowing my mind. Physically, like, blew my mind. I was able to talk to her for 4 hours, and she said, Shari, you can't usually talk to people this long. And I'm like, well, thank you. I'm taking it in for a very special reason, and I appreciate you sharing. So this particular Master Alchemy symbol, a lot of people are like having it even like installed in their homes, like on tile floors and things of that nature, because the energy of protection that this particular piece puts out is just astounding. So just found out some more information about this that's been a bestseller in the line as well. And so I'm very particular about symbols. I'm very, very, very particular about them, because symbols are very powerful. That's how our higher self communicates with us. So, and these tools are tools to connect with the higher self. So, and this is the same symbol, the Master Alchemy symbol, on top of a flower of life. So we use a lot of sacred geometry in the discs. And they're constantly changing. Like I did show the Tesla disc, which is, this is the Nikola Tesla violet ray transformer disc. And my teacher Greg used to make Tesla discs, and I had sold one several years ago. It must have been 5 years ago, and it was one that Greg had made. I sold it at a show, and this young girl had bought it. And 3 years later, she comes back and she's like, Shari, I got to tell you. She goes, I took that Tesla disc with me everywhere. And she said that she ended up staying in a house that he actually lived in.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was pretty cool. I also, with the ones that I've been making, this is a little bit different. His image, I put this classic, image of him on top of the violet ray transformer. So all of that energy is in here. It's all in here. It's, the violet ray transformers in it. This is a gold back disc, and the gold discs, they reflect and shine light back on you. They feel really good. You can use them, and they work on the central nervous system, as well as, different parts of your brain and things like that. So they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to work with as well. So I had sold one of these to a woman at the Pyramid Conference, and she sends, all of her friends had ordered one, but she was doing some very intensive healing work with some friends of hers at her place. And she had a very profound experience where she had the disc sitting in front of a mirror, and she saw Nikola Tesla materialize in the mirror.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was some crazy stuff going on. So yeah, it was pretty cool to hear the experiences that people have with the discs. And it's interesting that yours broke, because sometimes when a disc breaks, it'll take something in. It's a crystal. It's the same as a crystal. So, it'll take something in. If it breaks, it's okay. You don't have to feel bad. It's like, it's a protection piece. So it's okay that, if they break, and I can always make you another one. And we're going to get you all hooked up this time when you get back there.
Yeah, it's, just incredible stories of, the transformations that happen when you're now directing energy and being able to really focus that.
It is. It's a focus on
Yeah.
the, yeah, it's about your intention. I mean, our intention is everything. We are powerful creators. We are powerful manifestors. And I wanted to talk real quickly about this disc too. This is one of my favorites. This is based on, this is called the Accelerator disc. And this is based on a disc that Hallie Deering had been creating, but it's much different than what she had visually. And so this is a neural network system on this particular disc, and it's got 24 karat gold in on the disc, and this is a gold backed disc, and it's available in transparency too, which is really cool, because when you have the light going through it, you can see the neural network system, on the body, which is really kind of cool. And but with this particular disc, this is for healing cellular and nerve damage. And one of the first ones I sold online was to a woman who then became one of my best customers. And for 2 years, like anything that new came out, she bought every disc she could possibly buy. And what had happened with her was that she was in a skiing accident. She hadn't let go of the poles, so she had damage in her wrist. And her job was to create, write textbooks online. So what the disc had done for her was significantly increase the amount of time that she's able to work on the computer, So that's one thing. But what I like to tell people about this disc is that you can get very shamanic with this. You can take old paradigms, old conditioning within your neural network system, and you can remove them energetically, create holographic neural network systems, and implant them. So it's like assisting in shattering those old paradigms of thinking, let's get out of there and let's start creating the new. Because what's happening on this planet, it's time that we rebirth everything, and it's us that we're waiting for. No one's coming to save us. It's us, and we have to rewrite the stories. But the ultimate goal is to not have a story. It's like everything that happens on this planet, as above, so below, it's the reflection of these archetypal energies. Well, the gods were us, and we did that. And we thought we were doing such a good job in creating those things. Well, no, not anymore. Now it's time to rebirth new archetypal energies, and, we hear a lot. Right now we're struggling so bad to have unity, unity consciousness, and healing the divine feminine and healing the divine masculine. And that's why that's so important, is because this is an experiment. And we, through our experience, is the experiment. And our soul's destiny is our experience. We come here and we have these particular experiences, and there shouldn't be any good or bad about it. Yes, things happen that hurt us, but everything is in divine order. Everything is, and it's all in assistance to us ascending and learning and going to another level. It's like my mother just, had a stroke, and she's doing really well, but it's like, wow, this is going to be a long journey, and like everybody's life is going to change, and it's a blessing. I love her, and I don't like to see her in the state and the pain that she's been in, but it's like, this is such a blessing, and we have to really take these experiences and do the best that we can to reawaken, all of these different aspects of ourselves. And it's about self-love. And that's the very first thing. It's like, I'm so in love with my mother, but that's me. That's me. It's such a gift. Any experience that we have that can take us to another level of love within ourselves and that realization. So it's beautiful. Yeah.
One of the things that just recently has been really a ever-present thing in my life when I'm meditating, and if you get a chance to check out some of the stuff, I post lives almost every day just about these thoughts that I have when I'm meditating. And a lot of what's been coming up for me lately has been just about that. Like, you're not the story, right? You're not the story that you keep telling yourself. That we get to this place and we're We're living in these lives that are just a collection of stories that we keep telling ourselves, and we can choose at any time to change that story. It doesn't have to be that way. We can choose the association that we have with those things and change those, and then it becomes all about gratitude, right? It becomes about how grateful you are for the experiences that you have, positive or negative, right? However you view that, we have to be grateful for the things that are in our lives that shape who we are and create the person that we become. I know for myself, I grew up in a very abusive household. I had lots of things that happened, and it was a challenge. But those things shaped me to be who I am today. And they've given me the ability to reach out and to be able to talk with people that I wouldn't be able to talk with otherwise, because I didn't share the experience with them. And being able to do that has just been incredible in my own life. I've worked with so many people, with kids, with adults, that have struggled with some of those same issues. And it's been so healing for me and for them to be able to deal with those issues, because, we can be grateful for those things. We don't have to keep telling the same story over and over again.
And gratitude goes a long, long way. It's amazing. You get up every day and you say how grateful you are, even though you're facing some challenges. And another thing about the story I'd like to say is, like, people get caught up in everybody else's story too, and it's like it's so limiting, and it serves no one to be stuck in the past and in these stories. It's like the first phone call of the day, that's the story of the day, everybody, what somebody else's problem is, it's like, hang the phone up and concentrate on what you can do to enhance your story, to enhance the stories of everyone around you. But it's like, oh, well, this person has that problem and this person has this going on, and we can just get lost in that. And it's a habit, and it's a conditioning. Again, that's where that neural network system and those relationships with those neural networks are going off. And it's time to change and to shift that, and it only is going to get more and more beautiful in what we're creating, especially around us, and what we're seeing and experiencing.
Yeah, for sure. So your talk, so not this weekend, but the weekend after this one, is Victory of Light. So you are going to be doing your talk there. So give us a little snippet of what that's going to be like.
Well, I'm going to be talking about the dimensions. I give like a quick rundown of what I learned through the work of Barbara Handclough on the alchemy of the 9 dimensions. And I'll talk about the dimensions and give a basic how they work, and then we're going to talk about how we can utilize that knowledge in deciphering energy and assisting us in I guess enhancing our awareness, really. So I'll talk a little bit about the Sophian myth. I never really prepare for my talks so much. It's more I like to kind of go off the cuff and go with the energy. I'm usually pretty excited and pretty high by the time I get down there from selling discs all day long. It's like you go from whoa, like talking discs and talking to people and connecting, and then running downstairs. But it's always fun. It's always informative, and I hope I share something that turns somebody on to want to go and research information for themselves. But the whole gist of the talk is going to be about, the accessing of fifth dimensional consciousness. Well, 5D, the fifth dimension is your heart. It is the place of peace. It's the pink place, and the Pleiadians are the keepers of the fifth dimension. And, we keep saying, well, when we get to 5D, no, we already are, it's available to us now. We already have access to all of these higher dimensions. And the Pleiadians had said that after 2012, all humans on the planet will have this innate ability to be able to access these dimensions. And dimensions are other states of consciousness. They're other states of awareness. And they're accessible. I can pop in and out of dimensions really, really easily. And I've had the pleasure of working with some amazing people that we can use these dimensions to be able to integrate more of ourselves. I mean, we come into this lifetime being very fractured. It's like, I mean, you lose a leg in a past life, it's like you're going to have problems with that leg in this life. It's an energy blueprint that, we're bringing back in. So to do soul retrievals and, going and retrieving soul pieces, sometimes, we're going off world, or we're going within these other dimensions, or speaking with other higher dimensional beings and things of that nature, so all of those things are accessible. And we are working with them now, and either you're aware that you're being assisted by higher dimensional beings, and or you're not. And some people just consider them angels, which that's part of it too. And the more that we get into that, and the more our awareness increases to what lies within and beyond these particular dimensions, is just going to enhance our own awareness and communication. But I like to tell people too, it's kind of nice to know who you're talking to. Chief Golden Light Eagle always says, well, aliens don't know they're aliens. You call them aliens, and like, what's an alien? So, I mean, it's just fun too. I look at it as this information that I've been, studying and playing in for all of these years. It's fun, and it has to be fun, because it's a gift. It's really, it's a gift to be able to explore these things, because who knows what's next. It's just this particular experience. We have bodies. We have these human bodies. So that's why it's, I make tools to be able to take care of your energetic body. And these tools are here to assist in connecting the biofield, all these subtle fields that are around us, to the physical body. So I do wholeheartedly believe that these particular tools are, they're creating a physical response within the body. And for that, I'm really grateful. Positive responses, of course. Yes.
Yeah, I think, when you start talking about awareness, it's interesting to me that we have these incredible life cycles, and we go through these moments where, when we're children, we start out and we're very ruled by our environment and the things that are going on around us. And then we come out of that and we get into our teenage years, and we're rebelling against all those things. But we start discovering, right? We start discovering all the things that are possible. Fairly limited, because we're in this small community. We don't have enough life experience to understand that there is so much more out there. And I know for 2/3 of my life, I lived in a place where, I didn't give a shit about anything, right? And I was very angry and struggled with a lot of things. And you mentioned this whole idea of this 5D, this heart kind of thing. And in this phase in my life, things have changed, and I'm so much more heart-centered. And I never thought that was even possible for me. So, coming into this season in my life where I'm so much more aware of the things around me and the possibilities and the people, is just incredible. That I have, just like everybody, we have this incredible event here in Cincinnati that we can go to that has just this incredible collection of people where you can literally find whatever you're looking for. From A to Z, whatever it is that resonates with you, and you can find the help and the spiritual breakthroughs that you need to make it to wherever you're going. And it's just incredible that, I get to spend this time with people, and I get to talk to you. And we had a great conversation at Victory of Light last time. Mm-hmm. And, I just get to get around and really get to rub really, making incredible strides in, the spiritual community. And it's just amazing to be able to have that kind of access to people that are really playing on, the edges of what tomorrow is going to look like.
Exactly. And we're creating that. And we are creating that. And Victory of Light, it's just a beautiful show. I mean, not only can you get, any kind of tool imaginable in the metaphysical community, you get to create or you get to, meet and these people, that have all this knowledge within them. It's a wealth of knowledge to be able to go there. And they say, hey, spirituality is for those that have walked through hell. Those are the ones, that's why we're so spiritual. It's like, it's not been easy for any one of us, but this lifetime is not designed that you just are born and it's all happiness. That's really not what this experience is about. Happiness comes from source, so our journey here is to return to source, and that means our connection with that divine source within us at all times, and that's when you became more heart-centered. It's because your awareness shifts and says, I'm not choosing the hell anymore. I'm choosing the love, and it's the love that I deserve, and it's the love that everyone that I encounter deserves to have. So it's such a gift and such a blessing to be able to have these shows like Victory of Light, where we can just go. It's a big family reunion every time we're going there, and it's a joy. It totally is.
So do you? I'm sure that you already know this because you've already got everything together for that. I know how it works from the back end of it. So where are you going to be? Are you still going to be right in the front there?
I'm right out front, and I want to say it's booth 16, but sorry, I'm not good with the booth numbers much, but I'm right out front by the front entrance, and it's where Tom Stone's used to be. We miss Tom dearly, so I'm in that area. So it's right when you walk in the front of the show. And what's so cool about the area that I'm in too with the discs is at one point during the day the sun comes through and shines right on the discs, and it just lights it up, and it's so intense, the energy with the discs too. I love getting set up for the shows because the more I put them out, and it's just like, oh my gosh, they're just lighting it up, and the energy gets all intense. It's so high on life being there while I'm at that show. It's just so fun, and working with all that energy and all the crystals, because the discs can work well with grids and working with crystals, tuning forks, essential oils. All of those things are there and available to everybody to enhance your experience. And I like to say to people, one of the most sound investments that you can make for yourself at such a spiritual metaphysical show is a disc. And without a doubt, one of the most sound investments somebody can make for themselves at one of these shows. And I'm just grateful and honored to be able to create that piece for someone. So I want to say thank you, Jeff, for having me today.
Yeah. So give us a way that people can contact you.
Well, I'm a Facebook girl, and you can find me under Shari Lynn, SHARILYNN. That's 2 words. And I have a website for the discs, and it's www.cosmichealingdiscs.com. And I spell discs with a C, not a K. And we have a Facebook page as well, Pleiadian Cosmic Healing Discs. Please go and like that because I love the page. And I'm available. I'm available to do lectures, and I aside from just making discs, I do work with energy, and I do personal readings for people. Can do some energy clearing work and things like that. And I'm also putting together a healing summit that will happen in September in Austinburg, Ohio. Oh, wow. And so I've got a friend of mine has 70 acres, and he's welcomed me onto the land to be able to do whatever I'd like to do. So I have 3 particular teepees that'll be set up there, which that's just a minute portion of for the healing work to be taking place. But I'm having Fernando Vosa come in who's a sound alchemist, healer, inventor, amazing, amazing individual. Dorothea Contaglossi is a very powerful healer, medicine woman that I worked with in Texas, and she will be coming in. What we want to do is do a summer healing series, and then the summit, bring people back that are going to be doing the work in September. So I have Christina Schwind, also very powerful healer, medicine woman that I've done the spiritually accelerated clearing work with. Cannot recommend people doing that any more than if you have things that you know need to be cleared. These could be entity attachments, ancestral attachments, you know, throughout your lineage. The work that Christina does, boom, gone. And because of my knowledge in that type of work too, that's in the discs. I want people to know that, you know, a lot of what I know is within this tool that I'm creating. So these things are accessible. So yeah, I'm inviting everybody to keep up with me on Facebook and the website to find out more about the summer healing series and the summit that's going to be happening. You know, I'm pulling everybody together to make sure that this happens. So, you know, just be patient with me and please stay in touch because it'll be so worth it. And so thank you.
For everybody out there, remember April 6th, Victory of Light. Be there, check out her booth. Also at 5 p.m. is on Saturday is her talk on accessing fifth dimensional consciousness. Make sure you're there for that. Come and say hi to both of us because I'm pretty sure that I will be there for that as well. I am going to be there on Saturday going around talking to everybody like I always do. Obviously, that's what I do best. So I'll be there to check out some of the talks and hang out with some people. Shari, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for taking time today to talk with us and giving us so much incredible information. I look forward to seeing you in a little over a week.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to be there. So thank you. God bless everybody. You know, peace out. We'll see you.